All right, in light of how much you guys love women's MMA, I wanted to talk about kind of the future of the division, what the UFC is or isn't doing. So, what I've noticed, correct me if I'm wrong, if the UFC likes a fighter, male or female, they start to put the machine behind them. So, you'll start to see them at different events, you see them at fan experiences, you see them online more in the UFC pushing them and kind of telling their story. And they do that a lot for male fighters that they think have the it factor, or they want them to have the it factor. So I think that what we're missing, one of the things that we're missing on the women's side, is that push of the right fighter. And so what I wanted to do, or wanted to see, was if there are one or two fighters that you guys can think of outside of the top five of any of the women's divisions, or even outside of the UFC, that you think the UFC should either sign and give them a push, or if they're in the UFC, should start to put that machine behind them. So I'll go to, let's see, CJ, do you have some people? Okay, let's go to you first. Let's see what you got.
I mean, Natalia Silva.
Yeah,
You know,
that's a good one.
yeah. She's I really like her Muay Thai, and she's really strong. She's got a lot of heart, never gives up in her fights.
Just to expand on it, like I feel like she's got a look, so she's visually appealing, and then her fighting style is also appealing. A lot of female fighters, I feel like, are wrestle heavy, and so a lot of people don't like or understand it. And with somebody that's striking primarily, even though she can grapple as well, and somebody that finishes fights like she does, she got a 66% finish rate. I think that is something that the UFC can definitely get behind. But who's the other person you were going to mention?
That was where that shallow statement came from. That's probably it for me.
That's a sad list. It's very sad. It really is. That is very indicative
Yeah.
of the women's MMA situation right now that we're in. It's awful. But Frankie, who did you have?
I was very surprised that you asked me, of all people, this question, you know. I thought it was a troll. How many people did you ask before you asked me? Must have been about 40 on that list.
Nope, I asked CJ, that was it.
Yeah, when you first proposed the question to me, I was like, this shouldn't be much of a problem. And then, like, you know, obviously I opened up the rankings and stuff and immediately started to panic. And then sent you a message.
That's why I said
it was like,
this one's a hard one.
Yeah, it's rough. I mean, I did manage to come up with some names. I suspected that one of you was going to go for Natalia Silva, so like I kept her off the list because I know how highly esteemed both of them are to you. Green Silva was another one that came up. The street that she's on, I kind of tried to think about it like, all right, who can I find it's the three factors you're looking at. It's like personality, the look, and also how they fight in there. And I realized we're talking about women, and then it all just like collapsed immediately. I was like, this is rough. So I think there were two things that kind of came to mind. We've obviously spoken in the past in great detail about having the UFC getting an atomweight division. So I'm kind of doing that as like my honorable mention. I think if anyone who, and I shit on women's MMA more than anyone, but I will implore anyone who hates it to really have a look at what one are doing with their atomweight champions and their atomweight division. You know, people like Stamp Fairtex, they've got a Chinese fighter as well, who she was due to fight this year and got injured. But the quality up and down that division's amazing. And I just think on the whole, the UFC could really benefit from having that entire division. But in terms of looking for the three things, the name that kind of stood out to me, I've gone for Dakota Dichiva.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. That's a very good one.
Yeah, she's currently operating now. I think she's in PFL, right?
Yeah, it might be PFL
British.
Europe, maybe.
PFL Europe,
PFL
yeah.
Europe.
So she's British. She's kind of got that look. You know, she's not unattractive. I'll put it that way. She talks a hell of a lot of shit. She's 13-0, and she's knocking people the fuck out. Like, she's got 5'6". I think that she's somebody, and I think she operates at the moment at, I think it could be flyweight. I'm not entirely sure. It's either flyweight or strawweight. And I feel like you could slot her into either division and really push behind her. I think she's got everything. you could probably ask for. Again, you know how the UFC loves British fighters. They love people that can talk. She's a striker. She's got pretty decent takedown defense. And she's not ugly. So I'm going to go Dakota Ditchaba.
Check.
Yeah, the easy one really when it got down to it.
Yeah, no, that's a really good one. I didn't even think about her. But it's funny because I was in Kevin Ioli's live chat the other day, and he was talking about something else, and for some reason her name came up, and he went on a rant about her. Like, he really, really likes her as far as like being a potential breakout star if she's with in the right place. Like, PFL is not the right place for her. She can really become a star in the UFC and make some good money, comparatively speaking. But I actually went back to the UFC. I have two people. I will say that obviously Natalia Silva was high on my list. I purposely didn't pick her because I know that y'all know I was going to pick her. Karina Silva is another person that is on my list as well. Of course, y'all know I talk about the Silva girls all the time because of how good they are. One thing I did see though about Karina Silva is she has 17 finishes, 18 fights. That's insane. That's Shavkat.
It's very rare in the women's division.
Very, very rare. Like, that's a person that you push. That's like finding a female that can dunk all the time. Like, that's rare. That's rare.
Can she speak English?
I don't know.
Can't have
Maybe
everything.
She doesn't. I don't know. I can't remember. I don't think she does. If she does, it's not great. When I think of people that they could bring in, one inside, one outside. Outside, I feel like you gotta go and get Pacheco. You need somebody else. And obviously, I know that Pacheco was in the organization and she didn't do well. I saw it in person. I saw what happened. But she has evolved so far
She's
since then.
completely different.
And with the UFC capitalizing on rivalries like they have done, I mean, we just saw what they did with Dana White's Contender Series with Artem Vakitov. Like, this is another rivalry that you guys can capitalize on. Go get Pacheco and bring her in. Build her as the person that beat Kayla. We know Kayla's going to beat Juliana. She's going to be the champ. If Amanda wants to come back, that's icing on the cake. But you need to get Pacheco in, get her one fight. Give her the Michael Chandler treatment.
That's what I'm saying. If you can get all three of them,
that's
you
even
can get
better.
Nunes back, Checo involved as well. Suddenly you've got three monsters at the top of the division that's in a bigger weight class. Suddenly it matters. That's the issue of, because like, if you look at Natalia Silva, great suggestion. She's very fun to watch. Rest of the division is garbage, pretty much, apart from one fight. With Zhang Wei Li has the same problem down at strawweight. She is the most exciting fighter to watch, women's wise. Who's she fighting? Tatiana Suarez is for some reason AWOL again. Who'd you put her in there with? She's too small to fight up at flyweight.
Yeah.
The whole thing's a mess. The whole thing's a mess. There's no personalities. You can't. This is the problem that they have, and that's why I'm saying the atom weight was something that we needed to really, because like I said, that entire division abroad is incredible. Because at the very least, even if you don't have the personalities, you've got the fights.
That's true. I got one other name that I think is very interesting. It's going to take a little while for her to get where she needs to get, but I do think that this is a person that the UFC can give a push, and that's Wang Kong.
Oh yeah,
Joker. Like,
yeah, she's got some personality,
and she knocks folks out.
It's very early days.
You gotta remind me. Who is that? You gotta remind me.
She was on the Contender Series as well, wasn't she?
She was on Road to FC.
Road to. Yeah, so she had a performance, I think about it might have been a month ago.
Yeah, it was in August,
and she knocked someone the fuck out in the first round. Like, it was brutal for a woman. It was one of those ones. I can't remember who she was fighting.
Victoria Leonardo, who had like 14. She got 14 fights. She's 9-5. But she
brutalized
62
her.
seconds. 62 seconds.
Brutalized
she knocked
her.
out.
Yeah.
She's got a win over Shevchenko. That's hilarious, actually.
Yeah, in kickboxing, yeah.
Yeah.
So there's story.
There's potential there.
I like it.
Again, non-English speaking.
Yeah.
It's an
Slim
issue.
pickings. You can't have it
Dana,
all.
I'm sorry. You got a
Dana.
tough job to do this women's division.